Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to our special video preview of PPW's upcoming March 18th event at the Phoenix Theater in Petaluma, California. I'm your host, Josh Drake, and with me tonight are PPW commentators Tim Livingston and Eric Ritz.
It's nice to
Josh.
be here.
Good
How are
evening,
you?
gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So this is our first video podcast where we're hitting it with a hot opening, and I think we should continue that with the hot opening we had at PPW's last event. We saw the debut in Petaluma of the tag team, the Kings of Luxury.
Right.
It was an amazing opening event. They made a big impact with the audience, and they're actually returning to face the Skye Brothers at our upcoming event. So what do you think about the Kings of Luxury? Did they impress you at PPW's last show?
Well, Rick Luxury's been around the Bay Area for quite a long time.
Yeah, I'm a big Rick Luxury
We've
fan.
seen him. We definitely know what he brings to the table, and to see him with King was one of those things where they kind of just had this natural connection, and I think that you see him come out and have the type of performance that they had. It was kind of uplifting to a spot where, tag teams, when we saw a lot of tag teams on this last show, the tag team experience in PPW, I think, is where we can see our next bit of growth, in the sense that, tag team wrestling, I think, as a whole across the industry is starting to get a little bit of a push upwards, and it'd be really nice to see what some of these teams that want to showcase themselves can do, especially in our arena.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Luxury in tag matches as well, because he's very chameleonic, if that's a word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay to use.
He mixes in.
He seems like he can adapt to any partner and play up their strong points with his own strong points, because he's so well-rounded. And I think now that he's been on a couple PPW shows, I think the fans have really started to see that. I don't think he's worked too much this far north. So I like a guy like that on the card.
And he's a ring general, so not only does he complement partners very well, but being a veteran, he could bring the best out in them. I know JJ King, he like Rick Luxury, he's a man who has an impact in wrestling. He hits hard, but he also had a bit more energy, a little bit more of that youthfulness.
I was just about to say, he Luxury is a flashy guy, but he's very he'll show off a few times in the ring, but King is very outward. He's a guy that when he was in the ring, it was very interesting to see that dynamic between the two of them, because Luxury is this very flamboyant guy. He comes out, he's got the big feather boa, and he's got the sunglasses, and he treats poor Donovan like one of those dummies that you see at the
bit like a hat rack.
Yeah, exactly.
Little hat rack. Yeah.
But I will say this, that that type of team that's been around for such a long time, not as a unit, but have been in this business for such a long time. That's the type of group that we like to see come in here and have the type of performance like they have, because that all of a sudden shows everybody else that when you come to this arena, you're going to have to put up with guys like them who have been stalwarts of the scene for quite some time.
Yeah, I like bringing in a team like that and just kind of debuting them in a nondescript way, because through their ring work, they immediately announce themselves.
Yeah,
that makes it very clear that they, pardon the expression, know the ropes. And, it was very obvious to people that might not have been familiar with them that they, are a, quote, force to be reckoned with right out the gates.
Absolutely. But in order to counter a team like the Kings of Luxury, I think, you're not going to find very many people in the Bay Area who have more experience than Rick Luxury, but maybe a team that has chemistry going back from birth. Maybe a sibling team, the Skye Brothers. The Skye Brothers will be facing the Kings of Luxury at our March 18th event. We've seen Aaron Skye in the ring in PPW.
Right.
We know what he can do. He's a high flyer. He's a young wrestler, but he can hold his own with veterans, which we know because he did have a wonderful match against Adam Thornstowe in SPW. He and his brother Christian Skye will be facing the Kings of Luxury. How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, it's Aaron impressed. He kind of came out of nowhere and had the type of debut that we've seen a few times here in Phoenix Pro Wrestling, where someone just comes in and really tries to make their mark. We've seen that with Manny Mars. We saw that with Will Roberts at this show, which we'll talk about soon. But as a team, one of the things that can happen in tag team wrestling, and we've been such big fans of it for for so long, is all it takes is one mishap. And it doesn't necessarily have to be one guy or the other who does it on a regular basis, but even great teams make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be the underdogs, and they know that. The Skye Brothers aren't exactly big guys, and you get Rick and JJ together, they're pretty large, and they know the ropes. They've been guys who have put together a great run in the Bay Area since they started teaming up. And now, you get the Skye Brothers in here. They're going to be hungry, and, they're going to be, trying to cut them down. And it's going to be very interesting to see if the Skies decide to, really try and win this one early, which I think, maybe like a quick start and try and win this one as quick as possible. Because, the longer that match goes on, you're talking about two guys that have as much experience as the Kings of Luxury. They're going to have ways that they can put guys away. And so we'll see if it turns into a quick match where the Skye Brothers can come through.
So I don't know if I want to make a prediction, but I think that maybe something that the Kings of Luxury need to look out for is a little bit of overconfidence. I noticed that JJ King in particular liked to make a bit of meal out of his fight against his opponents. He would try to humiliate them. He fish hooked his opponent a number of times. And I wonder if that overconfidence of playing with his food, so to speak, if that'll come back to bite him, and the Skye Brothers being a very quick hitting, a very sudden team, if they'll be able to capitalize on a moment of overconfidence, and maybe that can give them the edge.
Well, first off, let me say I love brother tag teams.
Right.
I love the idea of two guys who have grown up together and know the ins and outs, read each other like a book, and how that plays out in the ring. I love that. Love brother tag teams. I also love that PPW gives, I guess you would say, smaller wrestlers a shot and treats them very much like they have just as much of a chance against, Rick Luxury probably goes 260 and Aaron Skye was very small. But PPW doesn't view things that way, that there's no need to separate these kind of teams, and they just have different skill sets. And on any given day, either of these teams can beat either of the other teams. And so I'm really excited to see the Skye Brothers, smaller, quicker, crazy athletic, go up against people who are athletic in a different way. I don't know. It should be a fun matchup.
Yeah, the contrast in styles is always what makes for entertaining and exciting action. And it's good to see kind of bruising teams go at it. We don't have too many bruising teams here in a PPW, but we do have a lot of guys who have come in and been exciting. And we saw what Aaron can do, and let's see what him and Christian can do.